Today again, my topic is going to be extension of time, delay analysis, and entitlement to the prolongation cost. I know that this is stunning subject matter for all the spectrum of engineers from fresh graduate to senior fellows. This is again underestimated and I call underprivileged knowledge area in Sri Lankan context again. So in Middle East context, this subject is driven by, I would say, that technical and logical approach. Again, as Nalin mentioned, I would like to recall the purpose of this CECB session. It is all about filling the knowledge gap and understanding the required set of skills to compete in the international professional market, especially in Middle East region, by acquiring required knowledge. So I believe, yes, sometimes, yeah, previous session was heavy, I understand that. But the purpose of this presentation is to give some knowledge and skills to enhance people who are going for the Middle East. Yeah, this is what we need to do. This is here we go. So that's what even now today's session would be a little bit heavier than that one. And so, but anyway, I try my best to simplify the things as much as possible. So if you have any question, you can raise at the end and you can contact me from the email as well. So with this note, let's move into the today content. First, I would like to say that why we need to focus on EOT and delay analysis and prolongation cost areas as engineering professions. And again, I'm going to talk about project delays and contemporaneous delay event register, which I have highlighted last time. Next, we will talk about first action of the claim report. It is a factual evidence basis to the delay events. It is called developing the delay chronologies. And next second step would be the contractual basis to the extension of time. This is also going to be discussed. And I would like to talk a little bit about this, the concept called the time at large, to give some little bit overview. So next one is going to be the Bible of delay analysis protocols, where the how and where the delay analysis methodologies has been put in. The most important thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to give very small example, one delay in time impact analysis, and going to explain you how we are going to determine the extension of time through the TIA, or time impact analysis. It's a very simple one. Anyway, you could have to go with a more comprehensive one, applying the same thing, multiply and something like that. So concurrent delays is going to be just, go through. So it will be help to determine the compensability of the delay events. Finally, application of the prolongation cost claim will be discussed, and I will give some final thoughts at the end. Now let's talk about why we need to focus on EOT and delay analysis and prolongation areas. In my reading, I would say that this is a niche professional market. It's like we can apply the blue ocean strategy. So that's why the less competition. Less competition means excelling in such a market is very easy, because if you go to the red ocean, a lot of people are there. So this is one reason which I would like to highlight you. And again, there's a high demand for delay analyst and claim specialists in the Middle East region especially. This is also I would like to highlight as one reason why we need to know that. Again, this is dealing with a lot of technical jargons and the logic creations, where I think most of Sri Lankans could have to cope with these things, because comparably the IQ levels are high in our graduates. And again, this is like we are solving real problems, because the contractors are suffering without extension of time, so that we could have to solve the real problem of them and giving the relief for them. That's also one reason what I would say. And again, it is having comparably high salaries than site engineers or project engineers or even project managers sometimes. So again, I would say that it is like an opportunity to improve the negotiation, problem solving, and leadership skills, because the claim is all about like art and science. It is not science, it is art, not art, because it is combination of things. So that's what I was thinking, that we could have to improve such skill sets if we are dealing with these knowledge bases and factories in Middle East region. And even you can see the, leave the conventional cloak of engineer and see the things from the bird eye view, and you can see that the project in totally different angle, and so this is also going to be helpful to improve some skills. And again, it is fun and joy. Definitely you need to do some presentation. There are hot arguments in the table, and even a lot of the times people don't understand what we are talking about. And if you go to some general forum, a lot of people are thinking we are talking the Spanish or the French. And that's also one fun fact which I need to highlight. It is real fun. So these are the things I would say that key point. I think that why we need to focus on EOT, delay analysis, and the prolongation cost areas. So before moving to the presentation and content, I would like to give some message to you. Please remember, the most of claims finally solved in a coffee table. As a contractor, if you could have to do comprehensive, detailed, logical, or scientific report and submit to the consultant, sometimes it is not what we are going to get. Because the thing is that the preparation of good comprehensive report is to bring parties into the table. That this is the most difficult thing in a construction. We need to bring the engineer, client, and contractor into the table. So this is the challenge. If you by giving the good report, we can create the bridge between these parties. Because if it is good, nobody can just ignore and put into the dustbin. So that the main purpose of having the good claim report is to create the bridge, and let's say give some appetite to bring people together to solve real problems. End of the day, sometimes we don't want to think about, let's say I have prepared this EOT claim for 100 days, and finally they have awarded it is 80 days just because of XYZ reason. Is even my comprehension detail is so much good. But don't worry about those. Are like a business decisions which people are taking in the Middle East region. It is a business decision. If you do your work in a professional manner, yes, it's as it is. Not like a Sri Lanka. In most of decision, I would say that unfortunately it's a political decision rather than the business decision. That's why they are business decision. We need to support it. Yeah. Again, I would say that this is the art and science, and it is a soft and hard skill, and a lot of fun there. Yeah. Okay, project delays. Projects are going to be delayed. As I said you in a previous presentation, you remember delays are not crimes. Delays are inevitable. It is happening in the project. It is a lot of consultancy that is as a crime, but it is not a crime. It is a normal thing in the world. It's like you are breathing. There are two types of delays which we can highlight at the first place. It is like critical delays and non-critical delays. And again, it means that critical delays means the delays which are going to impact to the critical path is going to be categorized as a critical delay. The delays which are not going to be impacted for the critical path is going to be categorized as a non-critical delay. It's as simple as that. Secondly, we can categorize the delays into another different way. It is like excusable delays and non-excusable delays. Here, what I need to tell you this, excusable delays means that always this word has been defined in terms of the contractor's perspective. For the contractor, excusable delays means that, okay, in a simple English wording, he will give excuse for that particular delay. Example, in a red book contracts, okay, engineer is going to give the drawings delay. And again, engineer did not give the position of site at correct time. Okay, for this one, yes, contractor is entitlement for the extension of time. In such a case, these are the excusable delays. Non-excusable delays is basically where contractor is going to be culpable. This is what contractor is going to be responsible. It's like his mobilization delays, maybe his crews are not, having the less progress at site, something like that. So this is first categorization, critical, non-critical. Secondly, we can divide it into excusable, non-excusable. And here you can see that once it is done, EOT quantum is going to be found. Once excusable delay is done, the EOT quantum is going to be found. After that, what we need to do, we need to check the compensability. Compensability check, that means that now we know that the delay is excusable, okay, EOT should be granted. Now, second step, what we need to do, we need to check the contractual compensability, whether this delay event is having contractual entitlement to claim the cost. Claim the cost. That's what it is coming like the compensable delays and non-compensable delays. Excusable delays, we are going to categorize into two categories. Compensable, non-compensable. This is where we can find applicability of the prolongation cost entitlement is judged. From here, we can find out, okay, this delay event is compensable in terms of the contractual jargon. Yes, this is compensable delay. In the green one, now it is going to be excusable and compensable delay. Again, very important point is this. It is not good enough to become that particular delay event to be compensable in terms of the contractual perspective. To get the cost claim, you need to check the concurrencies. Concurrencies, I will explain you. The second check we need to do is a concurrency check, because concurrency is also it is like a comprehensive subject. A lot of people written a lot of things about that one. In a simple way, concurrency is that, let's say, make it simple, more like there's the engineer delays and the contractor delays. Example. Engineer delays as well as contractor delays are happening in the project. Let's say impact of the engineer delay as well as impact of the contractor delay is going to be happen in one time. It is defined as a concurrent delays. Okay, impact of the engineer's delays, impact of the contractor delays is going to be happening in the same time. It is defined as a concurrent delays. Please remember, it is not an occurrence. It is not the where it occurs. It is all about where it impacted. When I go to the example, maybe you will understand later that one little bit comprehensive way. Now only we could have to find out, okay, we know this is contractual, this is compensable. Okay, now we can find out, okay, this is, if it is non-concurrent delay, from the analysis, we could have to find out, okay, prolongation cost entitlement is going to be X to Y. Because once I done one example, you will get understand, because I don't know whether this, the terminologies are going to be familiar with you as much, but once I done the example, you will get to know that what it is all about. But without explaining this delay types, I could not go directly there. After that, now we know the delay extension of time quantum. We know the prolongation cost entitlement period from where to where. We don't know exactly how much. Now, cost people, the QSs and those people will be calculated the prolongation cost amount. But we need to give from where to where you need to count. Okay, now, it's like that. Stage 1, we will find out EOT. Stage 2, we will find out the compensable period, X to Y. Stage 3, we are going to calculate the cost. The whole, extension of time and prolongation cost claim is having these 3 stages and these 3 deliverables. Now, let's consider how we are going to prepare extension of time claim and prolongation cost claim. These are the 6 basic steps, which I would say. The first, what we need to do is we need to find the factual basis. The factual basis, because what I'm going to do here now, in this slide, I have given the whole overview in terms of the theory, how it is going to be happen. But here, what I'm going to do, I am going to explain you how practical it is going to be done. How practical it is going to be done. Because those are theories. Because we are the practical people who did the claims. So we know what to do and how to do it. So these are the steps which you need to follow if you are doing the real claim assessment. Now, first of all, what you need to do, you need to understand the fact. Claim is all about collection of data presented in a logical way and making the good story. Make a logical and the good story. These are the 2 things which we need to bring. The facts are golden eggs. Yes, facts, data, information, proof, and those are the gold. Without these facts, we cannot build up anything. What we need to do, we need to understand the fact. After, you remember I said to you, there was a delay tracking register. We will go to the delay tracking register and select merited delay events. Merited means that contractually we will check whether they have merit in terms of the EOT, in terms of the cost as well. And again, reaching the chronology. Chronology means that once we write the delay event, let's say example, the contractor has been submitted this job drawing, after that engineer did approve this one, the engineer has rejected this one. Likewise, we are making the story. Story is called the chronology actually. Because that's why I am saying developing the delay event chronology shall be the key component of the narrative. Because without good chronology, in a first check, we are going to be out in a claim. Because we need to develop the rich delay chronology. Now, once we develop the chronology in a practical way, we will see some gaps. Because once we submit the drawings, okay, engineer has given the comments. But sometimes, once we check the records, practically what is happening, once we check the records, we understand that, we keep the drawings for 1 month. Instead of contractually, we need to submit within 7 days. Let's say example, we keep the 1 month. Now, once I write the chronology, I understand that there is a gap. From as a contractor point of view, yes, he has keep more 3 weeks. So in that case, what we need to do, we need to dig down into the emails. We need to ask from the design manager what has happened. We need to build up the story and fill that gap. It is also a very important thing in the claims because we need to fill the gap in the chronologies. Otherwise, the story will not be completed. Actually, this is called art of writing a story because people like to listen to stories. That's why if you write the story in a good way, people will listen it. Even it is unpleasant story, some people like to listen it. See the sample of storytelling. This is how we are going to, make a story. This is one sample which I'm putting you on October, ABC issued, blah, 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 attached device, commercial purpose. Likewise, this is like a huge chronology for the one delay event. The making the factual basis means that the developing the delay chronology is not the science. It is called art. This art of telling stories. We can bring people and to the gallery and they will listen our story. So this is all about. After we have developed the delay chronologies in factual basis, next we will check the contractual and legal basis. Basically, actually here contractual basis, because in a legal basis we are not going to do that. In a modern contracts, you know that there is the EOT clause, extension of time clause for sure. That's why any contract, if you go to any contract, you need to find out where it says extension of time. In the FIDIC 1999 Red Book version, it is in the 8.4. Because even there are a lot of letters in my slide. Don't focus in all letters. Just focus on the colored letters only. Because if you focus all letters, it's like a terrible. You will not get anything. But I just need to copy paste. That's why I just keep it. Because I need to keep your attention by just focusing only colored letters. Okay. Contractor shall entitle for the extension of time due to following 6 causations. Let's say in a simple English. A variation. I'm not going to talk much more about the variation. It's a straightforward because if there is a variation, it is impacted the time and cost. Definitely, time will be given. That's why the variation and varied work under A, I am not going to discuss much. It is very straightforward. If it is that it is impacted to the time will be given. The extension of time will be given. Let's go to the B. A cause of delay giving an entitlement to the extension of time under subclause of these conditions. Now, it is very clear what you need to do. Cause of delays giving entitlement to the extension of time under the subclauses of these conditions. Now, what we need to do, we need to go other subclauses and see that where it has been written that causation of delays has given the entitlement of the extension of time. Actually, on behalf of you, I have went through the old subclauses and find out it. It's very easy for you now. Let's go and see. I take one example. Subclause 1.9, drawing delays. Only focus on the colored letters. Don't think about others. Contractor shall give notice required. I am not going to discuss here. It is like another 2 hours lecture. That's why I'm going to just skip because I'm focusing on the delay analysis and giving some insight of the prolongation cost. So contractor shall give the notice and blah, blah, blah. It is there. But if contractor suffers delay and no incur cost, okay, now it is refers to the B. If contractor suffers the delays and incur the cost, okay. A, it says that contractor is entitled for the extension of time. This is one clause which refers in a B. And very important thing is under B here. Payment of any such cost plus reasonable profit. Reasonable profit. Now here compensation is not only cost. Profit also included. Likewise, if you go to the all conditions, you can find out there are 6 places it has been mentioned. Time, cost, and profit. Delay drawings, right of access, setting out, testing on completion, contractor's entitlement, suspension of. Now, again, if you go to there are second type of causation of delays also. Okay, I have done one for you. Subclause 4.2.4, the finding fossil inside the ground condition. So, if contractor suffers the delay and incur the cost, extension of time will be given. It's very clear. Payment of any such cost. In here, no profit. Now, what you need to remember, there's 6 clauses which is given the time, cost, and profit. Another here 6 clauses. You can see that unforeseeable physical conditions, possible consequence of suspension. So those things are given time and cost only, no profit. But still, this is compensable because cost is compensable. Okay. Now you can see that extension of time will be given on the variation number 1. Causation of delay 6 plus 6, 12 now. Altogether 13 places, it has been mentioned that contractor entitled for the extension of time. Now just remember that. And C is exceptionally adverse climatic condition. This also has discussed enough times in the lot of forums. Quickly, I would like to say the exceptional can be happening in 3 ways: quantity, frequency, and intensity. Quantity means that, when compared to the last 5 years, let's say the quantity of the rainfall is going to be 50 millimeters. But now, this month, it is going to be 250 millimeters. Okay, it is going to be exceptional, little bit, isn't it? Because exceptional is not defined term. Even in some engineer can say that, okay, 3 times is a exceptional for me, but it is not defined term, but it is a common sense. Second way of becoming exceptionally adverse is going to be the frequency. It is like the previous 10 years, rain has become like a 2 times per day. Now it is 7 times per day. It's going to be a little bit exception. And third way is going to be like intensity wise. It is like 10 milliliters per hour before, and now this month 35 milliliters per hour. In such a ways, you can identify exceptionally adverse climatic conditions. In this one, there's no cost, correct? This is the extension of time claim. There's no cost involved in that. And again, if you go to the D, unforeseeable shortage in the availability of personnel and goods caused by epidemic or governmental action. In the COVID claims, actually, COVID itself is not going entitlement, because you need to prove that COVID has been impacted and caused unforeseeable, yes, shortage in availability of personnel and goods. Because unless you prove this one, COVID itself will not give entitlement, because you need to show that there are less personnel because of the COVID, and there is an impact for transporting goods and something like that. Because good example is here, okay, if you are installing like a generator, and the people who are normally working for the generator one is in some area where it is not impacted by the COVID, because even that whole area is impacted, that people who are living in that particular area are not going to be impacted. Likewise, the COVID itself is not giving the entitlement, but unless you prove that one, it is going to be available shortage manpower and goods. And this is also not entitled for the cost. Any delay, impediment, or prevention caused by the attribute of the engineer's personnel, so any delay created by the employer, yes, contractor is entitled for the extension of time. In a case by case, it is going to be cost as well. And another one clause in 8.5, it says that authority delays. It is also given the extension of time. I did not put it here in the slide. You can see now altogether variations 1. Variations also, under variation, there are a number of 12 different clauses, but I'm considering it as 1. And possession of delays, we have 12. And exceptional adverse climatic condition, altogether it is going to be 17 places. It just says that contractor is going to have extension of time at large, under modern type of contracts. Really, time at large has been discussed enough in a lot of forums. A lot of people has been discussed. But thing is that this is actually law jargon. By a profession, I'm not a lawyer. That's why I don't like to interpret things in such a comprehensive way, because my basic degree is not the law. But to have some idea, I will give some sort of meaning for that. If there's no project completion date and time for completion is not stated in the contract, yes, time is becoming at large, because we don't know when to finish. It is very strange thing to happen, but now modern contract, it is not going to be happening, because a lot of people are aware of that. But maybe let's say 30 years before, 20 years before, it can be happening, because the drafters of the contract is not going to have enough competence at that time. But now this is a different level, this is in a different level, so that hold people aware about what type of things I need to write in contracts. And even in a second way, it can be happen like if there's no extension of time clause in a contract. Because if there's no extension of time clause in a contract, what will happen? contractor cannot enforce, so engineer cannot enforce the LDs because there's a no way it has been given authority or obligation for engineer to extend the time. Once project completion is passed, there's no remedy now. Because he cannot enforce the LD because there's no extension of time clause. That's why you can see that there is a no enforceable date of the project completion. The contractor then only has an implied obligation to complete the works within the reasonable time. Reasonable time. Employee is no longer entitled to claim the LDs for the delay. Now, if time at large, contractor can finish the things in a reasonable time. Reasonable, again, challengeable word. Reasonable means what? I think let's say even 10 years before this, this way of thinking works, but now in the modern contracts, what I would like to say is, so less relevant because modern contract is having almost all clauses because there's no gaps. We have program clause, we have EOT clause, claim procedure clause, maybe notice requirement is defined nicely, and time control procedure is there, claim management protocols are there. That's why there's a very chance to win the case by saying that there's a time applied. That's why it is really successful. Why I put this slide also, just a lot of people are asking time at large can be a case. Frankly speaking, modern type of contracts, it is very rarely successful. It's not going to be a case. Now, yes, I have discussed how we are going to make a factual basis. It is like developing the delay chronologies. The secondly, it is a contractual and legal basis. I have explained that how it is going to be contractually entitled for the EOT as well as cost. Now we are coming to the point where we need to discuss about the delay analysis and EOT claims, EOT content. If I'm going to talk about this one, actually, I need to go to the all Bibles of delay analysis protocols and say you that these are the things you need to follow. Basically, we have two protocols. One is AACE, other one is SEL. AACE is stand for Association for Advancement of Cost Engineering. It's a USA professional organization. They have published International Recommendation Factories 29R03. It's a forensic schedule analysis. This is one of Bible which says that how we are going to do the delay analysis and how we are going to select the methodology and everything is there. Again, Society of Construction Law, SCA, by UK, they also have published delay and disruption protocol. Now it is in the second edition, 2017. Previous one was in 2002, I think. Now it is having the new version. If somebody asks how we are going to select the delay analysis methodology and how we are going to do it, the straightforward answer is go back to these Bibles and select what is the most appropriate. Because a lot of people are talking about, once we go to the delay analysis techniques, a lot of people are talking about as plan as build method, TIA method, window analysis, as plan but for. A lot of things are going to be told. All things are copied from the books written. But if we need to do the real scientific things, we need to think in the world and search where it has been written as a protocol. And again, this 52R06 also published by AACE for the TIA analysis prospectively. This is also one which I'm going to use. This is going to be a little bit heavy, I think so, but I would like to emphasize you like this. AACE has given 16 number of delay analysis methodologies. So 15 number of delay analysis methodologies. The only thing you need to remember in all this slide is this. The 29R03 is all about retrospective analysis. What does it mean by retrospective? it distinguishes the timing of when the delay analysis is performed. That's mean prospect. There are two different delay analysis techniques. One is prospective way, other one is retrospective. Prospective way is we are going to have determination based on forecast. It is not happening, but based on the fact we have as of today, we are going to do some sort of analysis, predictions, and we are going to predict the impact of delay, and we will give this one as an extension of time. Retrospective means that we know what has happened. It's already happened. It is a matter of finding out and analyzing who's culpable for this particular delays. Engineer culpability, contractor culpability, and the natural culpability. We need to, it is already there, but it is combination of things are there, but we need to sort it out and find out who's responsible for what. Prospective is less time taking, retrospective is comprehensive, and it is time taking. But thing is, what I need to tell you, AACE defined this retrospective prospective based on timing of when the analysis is performed. Timing. Okay. If I am doing the analysis today and already the project is almost finished, in that case, this is retrospective as per the AACE. No? But this is going to be heavy, as Nalin said. I'm going to just keep it simple. In SCL protocol, actually what I need to say, another one. AACE basically drafted by engineering background. I would say that basically the majority will be engineering background people and who has experience in the science. So AACE, SCL is, I'm not criticizing the things, but SCL is basically drafted by law governing people, the lawyers. The delay analysis and disruption protocol. So in this one, we have 6 number of delay analysis methodologies mentioned. But problem is, problem is the retrospective and prospective analysis is defined in SCL based on the nature of the determination. Because previously it was when timing has been happened. Now here retrospective, prospective is differentiated based on the nature of determination. Now, 2 different things. But here, again, they have come up with the 6 number of delay analysis techniques. Impacted as planned analysis, time impact analysis, time slice window analysis, as planned versus as built window analysis, retrospective longest path analysis, collapse as built. These are the things. If you go to the SCL protocol, only 2 or 3 pages explain how to do this one. It is not good enough explanation. But if you go to the AACE, it's a bunch of pages. It is saying that how you are going to do, including each and every activity and steps. I'm not comparing those things. These are the facts I'm telling you. I'm not saying this is correct or this is wrong, but both are correct. But these are the facts. Now, if somebody asks me to compare AACE taxonomy and the SCL protocol, very hard to compare because it's like a comparison of apple to banana. Because you can compare apple to orange, but because it is, shape is same and texture and a lot of things, but compare apple to banana is very difficult, terrifying. However, by considering almost all factors, almost process of doing the things, we just come up with some mapping of SCL protocols, 6 number of delay analysis techniques into the AACE 29R03. This is how it works. 2903R is more comprehensive. You can see that. You can see that here, time impact analysis, prospective and impacted as plan is here in terms of the prospective is concerned. But AAC, no prospective. It is a retrospective. It is more accurate but time consuming. Okay. Actually, there is a misunderstanding of naming of the delay analysis methodologies. A lot of people, once you ask what is the methodology, people come up with different names because those names are in the books. Books are not the protocols. That's the problem. Because you can see that common names here, we have mapped the all common names to the SCL protocols and 29R03 protocols. You can see the time impact analysis is called this one in a common names. A lot of people are talking about this, this is time impact analysis we do. Now the thing is, the real question I need to ask, is it this or this or this or this or this or this or this? It's very confusing. That's why when you need to select the delay analysis methodology, just first thing you need to follow the protocols. Don't follow the just name of it. Because a lot of people are asking me, okay, we are doing TIA, we are doing the impacted as plan. Okay. It has no meaning for me because there is a protocols. You need to find what is the number of protocol. As per the protocol, which one? That's why claim teams need to discuss taxonomy and select the most suitable delay analysis methodology. Disregard how name it. Focus on common sense approach. It should be compatible with the common sense. Don't depend on the name. Practicability and implementation. Now, this is I think this is somewhat very important point which I am going to tell you. Now, protocols has been finished. Now, factual basis, contractual basis has been finished. After that, I have told you what are the Bibles and what are the delay analysis methodologies in the whole world. But once we go to the Middle East context, one of very famous methodologies is TIA, time impact analysis. This particular example, I am going to take 52R061. The SCL methodology is 2. You can go back. SCL methodology is 2. This is the one I am going to do. Okay. In AAC, what's the number? 52R06. This is specified now. I know what I am going to do. Please listen carefully. This one. Once you understand this one, almost in delay analysis techniques and the methodologies, you will get more knowledge. So, okay. Now, the first step is, you know that there is a baseline program. It's like a T0. Let's say example. Now, in this methodology, what we are going to do, now we found out the delay events. You remember these 2 steps has been finished. Now we know what is the delay, merited delay event. Because in that particular my example, for whole project, we have one delay. One engineer's delay to make it more simple. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to check when the delay event occurs. Let's say delay event occurs in this point. Okay, start to occur. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to look at the updates of the program, progress updates of the program. Because every week or every month, we are going to have updates, correct? We are submitting this one as a part of the weekly or monthly report in XCR files. That's mean the Premier files. What we are going to do, we are going to search most closest, most nearest updated file. We are going to take it. That means just before the delay event occurs, we are going to identify this is the updated program and updated schedule. Okay. So we take that updated schedule. You can see that in that updated schedule, these are all actuals. Now we have done this one just before the delay event occur. How it looks like? It looks like that project is forecasted T1 of delay. Fundamentally, who caused this delay? T1. Because this is the one and only engineer delay event. If it is that, if the case is like that, this delay is caused by the contractor, definitely. culpability is going to the contractor. You can see that here, okay, T1 delay is already recorded. Okay. We have only one delay event, this is one engineer delay. So now what we are going to do, we take this, it is called actually pre-impacted program. Please remember this name, pre-impacted. Sometimes some people call this before impacted program. I would like to say pre-impacted program. In a pre-impacted program, it shows the T1 delay. Now what we will do, we have the delay chronology. Remember that particular delay event, we have the chronology. This has been done, submitted, something like that. So from that chronology, what we are going to do, we are going to develop in this delay analysis language. The people are called this one the fragment. Fragment is not a magic. It is like a, we have the delay chronology. By using the delay chronology, we will build the Gantt chart. We will build the activity like the same thing, like something like that. Because I am just putting as a one bar here. It's like a number of bars. It's like a set of activities. Like an example, you think here, so engineer's delays. Let's say example, drawing delay. Example, engineer did not provide drawing of second floor structural element at correct time. This is the day he's supposed to give. Now he did not give up to this point. It's as simple as that. This is the delay, engineer's delay. Why I put here it is excusable? Why? The reason is 8.4 clause B. If you go to the any delays, you remember there is a drawing delay is under that category. That's why it is excusable. Again, it is compensable also. Remember? Now what we will do, we will include this one as a new fragment into the pre-impacted program and link to success activities. What does mean by success activity in that our particular case? Delaying providing drawing in the second floor of the structural element. Second floor structural element. Let's say construction of second floor structural element is going to be a success activity. What we will do, we will develop the fragment and link to that particular success activity. It's a construction activity. Construction second floor structural element. And we will schedule the program. We will schedule that particular data day. We are going to schedule in this particular data day. Now what will happen? The remaining work is going to be shifted like that. Understand? Now you can see that previously it was here. Now it is going to be shifted here. Now additional T1 delay has been reflected. Now you can see that this is people call the cause and effect. Causation is here, effect is here. Some people call cause and impact, right? Now this program is called post-impacted program. Okay. Now we know that before impact we are here, after impact we are here. Causation is this. Now how we are going to find out the extension of time as per this particular methodology. What we are going to do, we need to map this T1 from here because time for completion is here, not here. Because contractor is going to be entitled for this much of extension of time. Okay. Now this is called the extension of time. It is going to be start from here. It is called excusable delay, remember? Now this is going to be what? This T1 is going to be non-excusable delay because this is contractor's delay. It is contractor's baby, not engineer's baby. So that's why he need to take care of their baby. So likewise, now this is the whole determination. You can see that how we are going to do it. We have pre-impacted program. We put the fragment. After that, we see the impact. After that, we map this one from here to here and determine the extension of time. This is most simplest methodology which I could have explained. Okay. Now, let's move into this is the, now we know what is the extension of time, correct? because we have only one delay event, one engineer delay event. Okay. Now I'm going to check the compensability. Remember, the second stage is we are going to check about how much cost I can claim from that. I'm not going to explain this. This is the previous. This is here as a one shot. T1 is here. This is the pre-impacted program. This is the post-impacted program. This is the effect, something like that. Now, okay, excusability is here. Now we know that this particular delay event has what? Compensability is the compensability check we have done as per the contract. Yes, it is yes. Now, okay, we know that it is yes. Now, what we are going to do? We are going to do the concurrency analysis. Concurrency means that we need to consider contractors delay event as well. This concurrency is all about impact of engineers delay event as well as contractor delay events happening in the impact zone. So you see, this is a contractors delay event. Let's say similar way, what we are going to do, I just keep this one as a causation is TX. Contractor delay is non-excusable delay, it is a contractor's delay. We just put as a module, and because this is less than that one, I consider in my example, this is more, this is less. And you will find out what is the effect from the contractor's delay. Now you can see that this is the contractor's delay. Okay. Now, the concurrency is all about happening occurring things parallel in the impacted zones. Now you can see that this is engineer's delay, impacted zone. This is contractor's delay, impacted zone. This is the effect. This is a causation is here. You can see that this is concurrent, correct? This is happening at the same time. Impact, that's the definition, you remember? Impact is going to be happening at the same time. This is called concurrent delays. But if you can see this is non-concurrent delays, where contractor has entitlement for the cost. If it is concurrent, he has no entitlement because contractor also having delay in the same time. If this is the non-concurrent delay. Now the fundamental questions come here. What? Lot of actually Sri Lankan engineers, my friends also just asked, you know, a lot of people are giving the prolongation cost here. But it is not where we need to do the prolongation cost, because this occurrence, in the occurrence, we are keeping our people stuck at site, no? So we are keeping our people when it is occurred, not when it is impact. That's why what we need to do, we need to map this quantum of impact into the occurrence. You can see that this is the engineer delay, this is the contractor delay. What we need to do, we know that contractor delay is going to be finished here in the occurrence. This quantum is going to be pasted here. This is one way of doing it. There are a number of ways. I am not going to waste time, but this is a simple way of doing it. There are different multiple ways. But in that particular example, this is the way, the simplest way which we can do. Now, this quantum is going to be mapped from here to here. Now you can see that if you consider here, the point of the program here, yes, there's a no contractor. If you consider here, there's a contractor delay, client delay. You cannot get the cost because if it is concurrently happening, you have no entitlement for the cost. Okay, if you consider the here, you can see that engineer delay is only continuing. So in that case, you will be entitled for the prolongation cost from here to here, D1 to D1 to D2.
Chatura, Sorry to disturb you. And what I see is this is the heart of the explanation, and I would rather happy if you can spend 3-5 minutes to explain this in Sinhalese as well. I think that this is the most important part of today's session, in my understanding.
Yeah.
So could you please take a few minutes to explain this basics, this graph itself in Sinhalese, please?
Sure. Sorry, frankly, I forget. So, yeah. The make වෙන්නේ මෙහෙම time for completion එක දෙන මේ ටික මම හිතන්නේ ඒක තේරුණා කියලා, right? එතන දැන් මම පටන් ගන්න සිංහලෙන්. Extension of time එක අපිට grant කරා, right? ඊට පස්සේ දැන් අපි කරන්නේ contractor delay event එකක් module කරගන්නවා මෙතන. Contractor delay event කියන්නේ non excusable. කෙලින්ම එයාගේ baby තමයි ඒක. එයා responsible නේ ඒකට contractor විදියට. අපි කරන්නේ contractor delay event එක module කරලා මේකේ effect එක බලනවා මෙතන. Right? දැන් concurrency කියලා define කරලා තියෙන්නේ engineer delay event එකේ impact එකයි contractor delay event එකේ impact එක එක වෙලාවට වෙන්නේ. effect එක. right? ඒතකොට මෙන්න මේ කැලල තමයි concurrent delay එක වෙන්නේ. මොකද මේ දෙකේම impact එක එක වෙලාවට වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට මෙන්න මේ කැලල තමයි concurrent delay එක වෙන්නේ. මේ කැලල non concurrent delay. non concurrent delay වලට තමයි අපිට prolongation cost entitlement එක දෙන්නේ. මොකද engineer delay event එකයි contractor delay event එකයි එක වෙලාවෙ වෙනවනම් extension of time එක දුන්නාට cost එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ නේද? එතකොට අපි කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ දෙකේ දැන් මේක කරන විදි කීපයක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මේකට ලේසිම විදිය තමයි මේ මම අරන් තියෙන simple example එක. දැන් මේක ටිකක් complicated වෙනේව දැම්මා. ඒතර මේ කැලේ අපි කරන්නේ මෙතන මේ edge එකට ගියාට පස්සේ ඇත්තටම අපි ගිහිල්ලා බලනවා. මේ හරියට ගියා කොතනද මේක paste කරන්න කියලා හොයාගන්න එක ටිකක් technical වැඩක්. ඒක experience එකෙන් එනවා අපිට. මේකට මේ particular example එකේ මෙතනට ගියාම මෙතනින් එහාට ගත්තොත් මෙතන contractor delay event එකක් නැහැ නේ. මෙතන engineer delay event එක තමයි dominant වෙන්නේ. එතකොට occurrence එකට මේක map කරද්දී අපිට මෙතනින් start කරන එක ලේසි. එහෙනම් දැන් මේක එක එක විදි දිනවා එක එක what I would say ඔස්තාර්ලා එක කතා කරනවා. දැන් මේක මෙතනින් ඇයි start කරන්න බැරි කියලා. මේක මෙතනොත් start කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවට තව logic තියෙනවා. ඇයි ඒක බැරි කියලා. දැන් මේකෙදි particularly මේක තමයි ඇත්තටම හරි විදිය. හරි? මම ඒක explain කරනකොට මේක ගොඩක් වෙලා යනවා. දැන් කෙනෙක්ට කියන්න පුළුවන් මෙතනින් මේ පැත්තට map කරා නම් හරි කියලා T non concurrence කියන්නේ. yes ඒකත් way එකක් තමයි. ඒක බලන්න තව ඒක කියන තව පොඩි checks ටිකක් තියෙනවා කරන්නේ. ඒකෙන්ද ඒක අපි එච්චර නොගෙහින් මෙතන ඉඳන් මෙහෙට ගන්නවා කියලා හිතමු. හරි? එතකොට ඒක තමයි non concurrent delay එක වෙන්නේ. දැන් අපි prolongation cost එක entitled දැන් අපි final result එක හොයාගෙන ඉවරයි planners perspective එක. අපි කරලා තින්නේ අපි කියන්නේ කලින්ම මෙන්න මේ analysis එකේ extension of time එක මෙන්න මෙච්චරක් හොයාගත්තා. දැන් TEOT කියන එක. මේකනේ මතකනේ. මේක T2 කියලා මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා එකේ ගත්තා. මේක TEOT කියලා මම මෙතන ලියුවා. ඊළඟට අපි අපේ cost people වලට the QS අයට දෙනවා prolongation cost එක entitled වෙන්නේ කොතන ඉඳන් කොතනද කියලා. ඒක අපි කියනවා D1 වල ඉඳන් D2 වලට entitled වෙනවා මෙන්න මේ period එකෙන් කියලා අපි ඕක දෙනවා. එතකොට ඇත්තටම මේ delay analysis කතාවේ ඒක ඉවරයි දැන් ඒක ඇත්තටම. එතනින් අපේ ඇත්තටම job එක ඉවරයි. ඊළඟ එක අපි cost people වලට දෙනවා මේක කරන්න. මේක දැන් අපිටත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් ඒගොල්ලෝගේ profession එකට අපි ඒක දෙනවා. right? අපේ ආන්සර් එක දෙන්නේ මේ ගොඩක් අය මේ ලංකාවේ මගෙන් ගොඩක් අහපු අය මේක මෙතන තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ cost එක දෙන්නේ. මම ඒක කියන්නේ මෙතන දෙන එක වැරදි. මෙතන cost එක map කරන්න. මොකද මෙතනනේ අත්‍තරම delay එක වෙන්නේ. මෙතන තියලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. මේ හරිය වෙනකොට මිනිස්සු නැහැනේ site එකේ. මිනිස්සු ඔක්කොම ගිහිල්ලා මේ tail end එකේ නෙමෙයි ඉන්නේ අපි. ඒතකොට අපිට ඇත්තටම actual cost එක incur වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මෙතනද. හරි? ඒක cost එක incur වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මෙතනදී. මොකද ඒක හරිය ගොඩක් මිනිස්සුන්ට ගොඩක් idle වුණා. මොකද growing හම්බුන්නේ නැහැ නේ අපිට. හරි? ඒතකොට මේ වෙලාවේ මිනිස්සු ගොඩක් idle හිටින්න මේ occurrence එකේදී තමයි මේක ගන්න ඕන. මේ මෙතන අරන් හරියන්නේ නැහැ. මෙතන ගත්තම පොඩි ගානක් අපිට. මම මේ contractor එකෙන් කතා කරන්නේ. හරි. ඕක තමයි ඒ කතාව. හරි. දැන් අපි post claim එක කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා බලමු. post quantum එක කොහොමද දැන් අපි දන්නවා EOT quantum එක දන්නවා අපි දන්නවා prolongation cost entitlement from where to where කියන එක. So we know both. Normally prolongation cost කියලා කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම මේක site preliminaries තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මොන හරි delay එකක් වුණාම if the delay has happened we need to maintain the site preliminaries, correct? Prolongation cost කියන්නේ අන්න ඒක තමයි. ඒකෙදි වෙනවා site superintendent charge එක යනවානේ අපිට. We need to bear that one because we cannot take out the whole people from the site because we have dedicated people for this site. Even there's a no drawing, people are coming to site. The superintendent again site overhead එකේ අපේ engineers ලාගේ පඩි ඒ ටික අපි ගෙවනවා. හරි? මම මේක explain කරන්නම් මේක කළා. Site office time based cost එකක්. يعني office එක rent කරලා නම් තින්නේ ඒ කාලේ අපිට යනවනේ. එතකොට indirect labor එකේ ඉන්නවා අපේ office boy ලා ඉන්නවා ඒ කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඒ office related indirect labor එක අපි claim කරගන්නවා. මොකද ඒක delay එක වුණ නැත්නම් අපි ඒක එන්නේ නැහැ. Indirect equipment, then if there's a generator or some the energy source outside to energize the site office, so we need to claim for the fuel and the rental of the generator. Safety and environmental control, because sometimes even if the site is keep suspended, we need to maintain required safety and environmental control at site. So this is not because of me, this is because he did not give the drawings correct time. Maybe additional survey also need to do because of the sometimes then ඒක තමයි එහෙම වෙන්නේ. එතකොට basically මෙතන දැන් මම මේක back මේකට ගියොත් එහෙම මම ඒක prolongation cost explain කරේ සමහර කට්ටිය ඒක දන්නේ කියලා මට හිතුණා. Prolongation cost කියන්නේ site overhead එක ඒ head office overhead එකේ portion එකක් තියෙනවා මම explain කරන්න. මේක අපේ site එකේ කට්ටිය වැඩිපුර වෙලා ඉන්න හින්දානේ අර drawing දුන්න හින්දා ඒක තමයි. So මේක වෙන්නේ අපි මේ detail එක දුන්නනේ මෙතන මෙන්න D1 වලින් ඉඳන් D2 වලට තමයි මේක කරන්න ඕන කියලා. ඒක ඇත්තටම site preliminary cost වෙනස් වෙන්නේ මේ නිල් පාට එකේ හැටියට තමයි. මෙන්න මේ bell shape එක තමයි project එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. මොකද මුල් හරිය මිනිස්සු අඩුවෙන් අපේ admin expenses අඩුයි. මේ project එක මැදට යද්දි ගොඩක් වැඩි. මේ විදිහේ bell shape එක තමයි generally යන්නේ අපි ගත්තා. දැන් මෙතනදි වෙන්නේ actuals මම මේ actuals plan විදිහටම ගියා කියලා හිතලා මම අරන් තියෙන එක simple කරන්න ඕනේ හින්දා. අපි දැන් මෙහෙම යනවා. යනකොට preliminaries මෙතනදි තමයි drawing හම්බෙන්නේ නැත්තේ දැන්. ඒතකොට අපේ කට්ටිය T pro කියන කාලයක් ඉන්න එපයි දැන්. අර site එකේ කට්ටිය එහෙමම ඉඳගෙන it is going to be stuck and it's going to be because we need to keep the people for this particular period. We need to keep the people for this particular period at site. So we need to maintain site office ඒක තියෙනවා. එතකොට මෙන්න මේ period එක දැන් ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ලංකාවේ මෙතනින් තමයි මේ ගන්නෙ. මේක මෙතනින් ආවම දැන් මේ හරිය preliminary නෑනේ මිනිස්සු ගිහිල්ලා right ඒක තමයි මම කියන්නේ. මෙතන මෙන්න මේක එතකොට වෙන්නේ curve එක preliminary curve එක මෙන්න මෙහෙම shift වෙනවා. එතකොට වෙන්නේ ඔන්න ඔහොම තමයි. Site preliminaries and site overheads. Preliminaries මම explain කරා මේවා තමයි site preliminaries. right ඒක තමයි ලෝකෝ එක විදියට කියනවා basically site overheads. Site running cost එක තමයි preliminary. And head office overhead එක කියන්නේ දැන් ඇත්තටම මේ project එක if there's any project there some people who are in head office are working for this particular project. They have contribution like one person, one QS is working for 5 hours in a Tuesday and our QA/QC engineer maybe 1 day per week. Either some people are working from the head office. The basis is that for these people also will be keep idle because of this delay that people need to keep. We need to claim in that particular period for the head office portion. That's what to calculate the head office portion. If you can calculate that from actual, it is the best and undoubtable way, but it is very hard to prove. That's why a lot of people develop some formulas. It is a Hudson, Picheli, and then it's a very simple formula. It is not complicated one. So you need to apply those things. Once you apply this, once you find out this one and this one, it is called actually prolongation cost. And another one thing what I need to highlight here, in these prolongation costs, the usually normally accepted one is the actuals. You cannot take the budgeted or forecasted one. Actuals will be accumulated. Final thoughts tonight. So almost I have 5 minutes. So let's go. Granting EOT doesn't always mean that contractor automatically entitled for the prolongation clause. That statement is correct. Sometimes EOT is 100 days. Maybe prolongation cost entitlement will come 0 days, because it doesn't mean that, because it can be just because of in the contract there's no entitlement, and as well as it is just because of the delays are happening in the concurrent. It can be due to the either reason. What are the widely used delay analysis methodologies in the Middle East region? Basically, by name, I would say, I'm not going to, because I said that don't tell you names, but generally it is like a TIA, prospective methodology, that's the 52061. And now we have like, it is called TIA in Windows. It is called 3.7 in AACE. And again, sometimes in the Middle East region, we are doing the pure window analysis. Window analysis is very comprehensive, time taking, and we need to do contemporaneously. That's mean, let's say the project has gone like 1 year, and consultant is asked us to do the window analysis. It is impractical, because once project is moved, it is very easy to do the window analysis. Window analysis is purely like we will take one window, and let's say from 1st of January to 31st of January, we have recorded, let's say 20 days delay. The day by day, we are going to check what has happened, how the critical path has been driven, what are the near critical path, how the critical path has been shifted. Likewise, actually, I have experience when I was working in Dubai, one project we worked, every week we are doing the window analysis. Like previous week, we know that, okay, previous week to this week, only 2 days delay. The people are spending like 5-6 planners are spending in one room for like 5-6 hours to find out who's culpable for these 2 days delay. It's like time consuming, and we need to go one by one, path need to be checked, but it is more accurate, frankly. It will give a good picture about who's culpable, but it should be done contemporaneous way. Once project has gone maybe 6-7 months, it is very difficult to do. In such a case, the most reliable one is a TIA prospective, or TIA retrospective way. It is called the TIA in Windows, in the 3.7. You can refer into the AAC number. Can TIA perform in the window format? Is it same? This is what I explained you. TIA Windows is a totally different way. It's a hybrid methodology, which I have explained in 3.7.1. And window analysis this is what I explained, is the time taking, but it is more accurate. If you have multiple delay events, how do you figure out EOT and prolongation cost entitlement period? Yes, my example I shown you is one delay, one engineer's delay. As I said we are going to consider in the normally delay analysis maybe 10-20 delay events. In such a case, what we are going to do, it is called the delay mapping, accumulated delay map. We are going to do the same way. We are going to draw the things, all 10 delay events, causation and impact into the one sheet. From that one sheet, we could have to figure out the resultant cost. It is also not such a magic thing, but once you map those things, you will find out how you are going to do it. That's answer for that one is like we are going to do the delay mapping and find out how the EOT is going to be. What is the difference between delay claims and disruption claims? Then Delay claims, this is what we, figure it out, what we explain. Delay is going to be like a impact to the project completion. Disruption is more towards like it is like a productivity loss, because it is like, we are putting like a measured mile approach, something like that. Disruption is like we are losing the productivity just because of some causation. Because before the causation, let's say we are doing like a 10 meter per day, let's say, burying the pipes. But once the causation is there, we could have to do only 6 meter pipes per day. But thing is, again, disruption claims I have involved with a few disruption claims, very hard to prove, because data is playing big role, because without data, very difficult to prove that one. We can prepare, we can go to we can bring to some substantiation, but thing is that it's still without data, it is very hard to prove. What does mean by delay fragment? I explain you delay fragment is the visualization of the delay chronology. So we are going to have some sort of set of activities based on the chronology and put into the model when we are doing the model analysis. That's what called the delay fragment. This is what I explained when I explained the exercise. How to prevent from LDs attached to the interim contractual milestones. Yeah, I think I have given some insights last time. When you have interim contractual milestone, what we need to do when we are doing the delay fragments, when we are making relationships to the success activities, we need to consider that interim milestone as well, because sometimes interim milestones are also having the LDs. If we link this one only to the final completion milestone, it is not going to be work. We need to be careful in that sense actually. What does mean by time bar? A lot of people talking about time bar. Actually, it is notice. It is a how many days notice has been given to notify the delay. This is the basic simple definition. Because normally time bar for the FIDIC type of contract is 28 days. You can see that notice shall be given as soon as practical and not later than 28 days after contractor become aware. After contractor become aware, or should have become aware. Because in a time bar also going to be matters in some cases. If we did not serve the notice, yes, there is, but still people are giving the soft decision on that. It's okay, nine. Yes, Nali. This is, I think, open for the Q&A. I think it is a little bit heavier, as Nali said, but I try my best to make simplify. And I personally believe that, this is the knowledge base, this is the skill set which we need to enhance if we need to work in Middle East in this particular area. So I think I'm willing to help the people and bringing out of these things. So that's my point. Yes, Nali.
Thank you, Jatra, and thank you very much. And especially when I was going through your presentation, and I've seen a lot of hard works. To be honest with you, that I've seen the animations and the extractions from certain clauses and how we have prepared. I'm sure that it would have been definitely a time-consuming exercise and homeworks, and preparation was brilliant. And thank you very much on behalf of CECB and the whole professionals of this CPD program and Sri Lankan professionals. I would like to thank you very much. And it was a great session plus great presentation, because as we both know that this is a tough session to digest, but the way you have delivered and the way you have presented was remarkable. And I would highly appreciate if you can share the proper presentation in a PDF format at least, and officially give your permission to share with the participants. And thank you, Chatura. And then the Q&A session. We have a few questions lined up, and at the same time, we can parallelly give the opportunity to audience to voice up their questions as well. And Chatura, I would like to ask you a little bit about this calculation work, because you mentioned once that the rest of the works, once you are done with the EOT, extension of time in terms of time claims, then the costing part or the calculation of the cost part is given to the people who are into the costing section, or even you said that even we can do it as contract administrators or the project managers or the advisors. So can you please quickly go to, because you mentioned about the preliminaries and those things, the site overheads and the off-site overhead, but if you would be a little bit specific of what sort of document backups, like, because especially we can make a claim, obviously, but when it comes to the negotiations, like especially once you justify the claim, what would be the key documents or the correspondence would be useful, and how those has to be compiled together once you're going to the negotiations, even at the stage of preparing the cost proposal or the costing part of the claim?
Okay, let me, before I answer this question, Nali, actually, I personally believe success is all about like pre-preparation and hard work. You know, a lot of engineers are thinking that brilliantness works for them because they are selected for first 1,000 people in the country. And still people believe that the brilliantness and IQ level works once you come to the industry. But I personally believe this is the biggest myth which we need to break up. So the hard working and the pre-preparation is key to success. So yeah, because I am still trying to achieve, but I'm in that journey. But I think we all need to come to this stream. You know, hard working and pre-preparation is a must. You know, if you are working in industry, maybe academia different, I don't know, frankly, and it's as such. Coming back to your question, Nalin, it is good question actually. See, now once we find out the prolongation cost entitlement period, let's say this date to this date, January 1st to January 31st, I need to have the prolongation cost. The first thing what we are going to the cost department and ask this, that's also challenge actually. See, this actual cost is going to be recorded in the accounting system in general, in a practical sense, what I am talking, because it is not in like Excel sheet or something like that. Basically, in a practical sense, a lot of people are recording those in the accounting system. If accounting system is not going to be compatible with some sort of ERP system, which we can abstract some data, time-based data, so time-based cost and something like that, it is very hard to identify. Actually, what will happen normally once you go to the cost department, they will say that, okay, this state to this state, all cost is this. This is a dumping, you know. This is a practical sense what I'm, you know, practically what is happening. We go to the cost department, they will say that, oh, this here to here, these are the all costs incurred to us. Now, actually, it is very terrible to find out what are, because cost codes are there, no? In a practically cost code 506, they have description, but actually, I don't know which cost has been, the data entry man has been put into this particular cost code. You know, little bit research to be done on that particular area. Once they have given the whole cost code system, you know, they will give the one Excel sheet, cost code is this, cost description is this is the cost code, this date to this date, something like that. But little bit research we need to do to understand their cost system, actual cost managing system, to understand how we are going to sort it out. This example, superintendent cost. Example, time-based maintenance cost. Because we don't know from where, from which cost code they have entered. Because it is also a challenge actually. The practical sense, we need to have some sort of discussion with the cost people to understand how the data entry has been done in actual cost. Because in such a case, normally what we will do, we will after we, you know, go through and understand those things, we will give tick, you know, give me this cost, this cost, this cost, and this cost, you know, because normally accountant people give dump in everything because they need to take all costs. You know, like that, you know, it is practically what is happening, but we need to be careful to pick the right cost centers only.
Yes, Chatru, thank you very much. And if I am to extract much more of your knowledge from your brain and your experience, and can you share some few of experience, because we build up the claim and we submit the claim. Yeah. And as you well mentioned at the very early stage of the presentation, that the final negotiations take place in a coffee table. Maybe we have that negotiated prices. And can you simply explain or share your experience on what sort of difficulties, as a maybe in terms of a contractor's point of view, and how they are struggling to justify those figures? Because what I know is you prepare a claim at maybe at the end of the project, but sometimes the negotiation happens after maybe 6 months or 1 year, even at the final account stage. Sometimes the negotiations keeps going on, and later on, sometimes the people get changed, and finally the contractor fails to justify his or her claim. So where we have to be careful as a contractor, and where we have to be fair as a client or the consultant when it comes to the negotiation stage or finalizing the amount, like the liquidated amount, that this is how much we have to pay. So you can share anything from your experience? I think Chatru got his power cut and stuck here. Let us have a few minutes and I will call him back and I will try to contact him. Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us, maximum of 2 minutes, and he just called me back and he will contact me. Now, luckily or unluckily, he's in Sri Lanka. Therefore, we have to experience those power cuts. If the resource personnel are from Dubai physically, we wouldn't have this much of an experience. So please bear with us. And at the same time, I would like to remind you that the YouTube streaming has already been uploaded, and you can go live of this streaming. At the same time, there are buffered previous all sessions, like being the 6th session today, we have all 5 sessions archived in the YouTube channel, so that you can watch them at any time. So we urge you and we recommend you to get the maximum out of these sessions, and you can share with your friends. You can be ready with your own arsenals in terms of knowledge. So that's the key ultimately. And many of us, especially myself, if I'm to share some of my experience, because I know for a fact that entering to the Dubai market or the Middle Eastern market is a challenge, but surviving is much more challenging, because there are a lot of environmental issues, I should say. Especially people are from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and there are some we call the non-oil rich countries, which are from the Middle Eastern itself, because they have a certain favor to those people around, maybe people from sometimes Lebanon, and sometimes we call that Misris and Egyptians particularly, because sometimes it's very difficult to manage those people. And even once they are in the argument or once they're in the negotiation table, it's very difficult sometimes to negotiate with them. Therefore, we have to be very careful with our other qualities as well, not only just the skills what we gather, at the same time the negotiation skills, the personality, and the way you communicate with them properly, and to respect those cultures particularly, because we can find, especially in Dubai, there are all types of cultures. We call it's a cosmopolitan nature. There are different types and the customs. So you have to be very careful and you have to be respectful for other cultures and the customs, so that you can earn a good professional background. Chatru, are you back in? Okay, Chatru, right. Thank you very much. And Chatru, we were at the time of negotiations, because we knew that the preparation, or you have mentioned clearly about the identification of the delay, and then we build up the claim. And I think the final part of how to negotiate and get those money could be challenging. And could you please share some experience of what are the key areas to be considered when it comes to the negotiation table, especially when you justify your claim at the last moment?
Yeah, first of all, sorry for interruption because of power cut. So yeah, by my experience, frankly speaking, even we put some comprehensive detail, let's say the logical claim report into the table. If the engineer or client engineer or client sometimes having predetermined answer. Whatever the you put, I am not going to look at, because it is also there. I would say that, you know. But now the thing is, sometimes contractors also doing this mistake. Even, you know, if client or the engineer is ignoring this one, we need to keep interimly submitting this. This is very, very important. You know, a lot of contractors are, you know, disappointed and they are not going to keep submitting interimly, because interim submission is very, very important once you go to the arbitration seating or legitimate. So it is also a good point where even they are going to be rejected continuously without even looking at, we are just keep hammering them saying that, hey, we have entitlement. So we need to keep this one doing, as well as, by the way, that in a practical point of view, once we are submitting the first revision, sometimes, example, there is a gap in the chronology, example I will take. But when we are submitting the second revision, we could have to have enough time to enrich the case. From weekly report, monthly report, some WhatsApp messages, even we could have to find something, and we need to keep remember to just enhance this chronology and fill the gaps as example, because this is also very important. Okay, once come to the negotiation table, what will happen? But anyway, once we come to the coffee table, what will happen? They already decide, because this is also, we need to understand, there's a business decision and professional determination. Two different things. We don't want to mix this one, you know. Sometimes, you know, I also feel like, you know, I have done great job. It has no gaps and it's nicely done, but it's 100 days extension of time we are asking for, but finally they are giving 50, let's say. But it doesn't mean that actually the answer is 50. 50 is all about business decision, because end of the day, we are working in a business world, because we hired by the business people, frankly. We need to accept that fact, you know. The thing is, but we need to keep our job correct. We need to do our right thing, because up to them to decide in the negotiation tables what to award or what to grant it. Doesn't make, you know, don't take it as a discouragement. Like a discouragement එකක් විදියට ගන්න නැතුව අපි හිතන්න ඕනේ අතරම අපේ පාර්ට් එක අපි හරියට කරාද කියන එක. දැන් තව එකක් තමයි negotiation table ගියාම දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි තවම feel කරපු එකක් තමයි sometimes from the engineers, because I always, you know, talk about contractors point of view. ඒක තමයි. එතකොට අපි සමහර වෙලාවට ගියාම මේ ෆෝරම් එකේ ඉන්න කට්ටිය රයිට් පර්සන්ලා නෙවෙයි අවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. මේක කියන්නේ. ඒගොල්ල බිස්නස් අය තමයි එන්නේ. එතකොට ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ අපි කියන මොකක්වත් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔන්න ඕකත් චැලෙන්ජ් එකක්. ඒක ඒ පැත්තෙන් අපිට ක්ලේම් ස්පෙෂලිස්ට්ලා හරි ඩිලේ ඇනලිසිස් හරි දන්න කෙනෙක් එපයි මේ මීටින් එකට එවන්න. අන්න එතනදී ඇත්තටම අපේ contractor පැත්තෙන් වගකීමක් තියෙනවා. We need to invite for the people who's in charge in a particular specified knowledge area. අපි සමහර වෙලාවට මීටින් වලට ගිහිල්ලා negotiation table ගිහිල්ලා presentation එක කරන්න වෙනවනේ. කරනකොට ඒ කියන එතන ඉන්නේ ඇත්තටම business people ලා තමයි ඇවිල්ලා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ sometimes. ඒක අපි කලින් දන්නෙත් නැහැ යනකොට. මට එහෙම වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒක කලින් අපිට කියන්න ඕනේ එක්ක business people එනවනේ, we will prepare, we will make a small presentation, you know, no need to have a comprehensive one. ඒක යාට 2 slides තිබ්බනම් ඇති, extension එක කීයද, cost එක කීයද නේ යාට ඕන. ඒක අර audience එක අඳුර ගන්න නැතුව ගිහිල්ලා මට personally ප්‍රශ්න වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒකත් හොඳ ඇත්තටම experience එක share කරන්න. මොකද මම ඊට පස්සේ දැන් audience එක කවුද කියලා තමයි අහන්නේ මුලින්ම. First, who will come to listen us? If there is a person who can understand the claim jargons, okay, we need to give some sort of essence to him to convince.
That's a very good. That's a very good outcome altogether. Like to understand the audience and to whom you are talking to. Yeah. That could be very important. Yeah, thank you, Chatura. And I would like to know something about, because I could remember there were some events called neutral events. Yeah. Because what we know is generally we are given the time, then the cost. So can you please elaborate a little bit about the neutral events?
Yeah. Normally, these exceptionally adverse climatic conditions is called actually neutral events. It has been given generally the time only. The cost is not going to be entitled by the contractor for that case. The fundamental logic behind that one is like again D, 8.4D, if you go to that one, epidemic is, let's say, the COVID situation. It is also, it's like that, we need to go to the common sense approach. Example now, exceptionally adverse climatic conditions. Nobody has governed that one because God has given the more rain. The engineer is also not responsible. He is not going to be expected as such rain in that particular time. එතකොට ඒකෙදි වෙන්නේ අතනම දෙපැත්තම සෆර් වෙලා තියෙනවා. දෙපැත්තටම අන්එක්ස්පෙක්ටඩ් ඉවෙන්ට් එකක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ විදිහේ වෙලාවකදී ටයිම් එක දෙන එක තමයි most ඇත්තටම දැන් ඔක ලෝ එකක් තියෙනවා, හියුමැනිටි, ඔක තියෙනවනේ kindness, හැමදේම තියෙනවනේ. දැන් අපි ඇත්තටම ගත්තම කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් එක සයින් කරාට මේ හැමදේම එකතු වෙච්ච දෙයක් නේ කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් එකක් කියන්නේ. So that's why the naturally people decide that it is if it is the exceptional adverse climatic conditions, yes, we will give time only.
There was a question about this prolongation cost. The same question, I think, the same context and the same phenomena behind it. Like in past pandemic stage, if the contractor has entitlement, whether the contractor has the entitlement of prolongation cost claims, but I think the cost has to be removed where only they can claim the time. So without penalties, they can continue and finish it, but there won't be a cost claim as per your explanation, I believe. Is it because the case?
Actually, normally in general context, client also not expect the COVID, correct?
Yeah.
He also suffers because he could not finish this hotel project to give and give key to their customers. They are today. ඒකත් සෆර් වෙලා තියෙනවා. එයත් unexpected විදිහට සෆර් වෙලා මාත් සෆර් වෙලා. එතකොට ඒක ගත්තාම අර general humanity context එකේ සහ අපි common sense approach එකේ it is not fair to ask the cost. දැන් සමහර දැන් ඇත්තටම we also waiting to see some legitimate outcomes. A lot of people, some people go to the courts, and still I'm reading actually in some countries what is happening in the COVID, and still this one is developing after maybe, let's say, still some COVID consequences are there. Some lonely items, sometimes it is still there. Yeah, that's why we cannot give some, because we need to depend on some court cases, and hopefully it will, but generally this is the idea.
Okay, and there were some questions about this case by case analysis, like, because a delay has to be analyzed case by case. So each case you have to build up a cost proposal as well. So finally we will end up, my understanding, at the end of the contract, or as you mentioned at the interim stage, you will end up a few claims, maybe 10-15 claims by each case by case. So how it is to be managed and negotiated, and is that the case? You will end up at the end of the contract, you will end up maybe 5, 10, 15 claims for EOT and prolongation?
No. Actually, what is happening, EOT and prolongation cost claims will be accumulated once. It's only one. Once we submit the second one, first one will be superseded.
Even for the two different cases?
Yeah, because in a case will be inserted into the delay analysis, correct? Because see, now it is not like variation claims. Variation claims are like a different claims, different perspective. In terms of the EOT and prolongation cost claim is like an example, I will tell you. In the first revision, we have the 2 delay events. Let's say we have the entitlement of, let's say, 20 days for the cost. But once we come to the next revision, let's say after 3 months, we are going to give another interim submission. At that time, it doesn't mean that 3 delay event does not exist. This already exists. But during that 3 months time, we will have another, let's say, 2 delay events. What we will do next revision, what we are going to do, we have 5 delay events total, right? And the prolongation cost also based on the new 2 delay events, maybe compensability and like a concurrency we are going to check. Based on that one, we have now again 5 delay events to check the compensability. Once we submit the revision 1, after the revision 0, now accumulated impact will become, because it is like a accumulatively we are doing the claims. It is updating in accumulated way. It's like a revision 0 is going to be actually superseded with a revision 1. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, understood. And yes. Okay. Then I think the mitigation measures by the contract itself has to be taken care of, because even one delay happens, you cannot simply take the flat calculation. But if the second delay happens, the contract even has a duty to mitigate the delays, I believe. Maybe that could come into play.
I forget to mention that one because of the whole set of things. Yeah, it is very good point, Nalin. So yes, you are exactly correct. Yes, it is contractor's responsibility to mitigate the delays. Even it's happened. That contractor has obligation to mitigate the delays. Yes, once we are making the delay chronology, actually we need to include that, example, even it is a 50 number of days in the delay fragment, we could have to say that, okay, by considering the fact that the contractor has been considered 10 days as a mitigation measure, because contractor also liable, it is his obligation to do the mitigation, because sometimes if there is a mitigation, he need to justify that. In the end of the chronology, actually we are putting this note saying that, okay, this particular delay event, as a contractor, we believe that we need to take responsibility of 10 days and we are going to take out the 10 days from the factor. Actually, it is like a subjective measure, but people can ask, why 10 not 20? But yes, of course, because it is all about actually art of making logics as well. There is some sort of soft skill factors also there. The way in which that you are going to make a logic in front of the crowd, sometimes you can win the case even it is not 100% fair or justifiable sometimes.
Yes. I think it's all about, to show that it's a give and take response or give and take phenomena. It's all about, then I think the client would definitely be convinced.
Sometimes actually good case can be come up with a bad report. Some bad cases come up with a good reports and win the case. It's all about sometimes who are working on that one and how we are going to present it to the crowd.
Yes.
I have experience of such a case, but it depends actually. Yeah.
Thanks, Chakra. And there's quite a bit of a controversial question I should shoot you out. And this client has right to get compensation or pay cut from the engineer, within bracket it's consultant, where engineer's delay is unjustifiable. So if delay happens, then client is going to deduct it from, maybe it's what's your point of view? Then I will share my thoughts.
To answer this question, actually, normally we are always talking about there's a contract between employer and contractor, because we are specialized. We are talking about this, FIDIC, Red Book, everything in between employer and contractor. But this one should be governed by the contract between employer and engineer. Correct? Because because actually it is also, sometimes the design consultant, example, is not engineer, what I'm saying. For the design consultants also, there's a program. Correct? In a design consultants also, there's a prolongation cost. But unfortunately, for the engineer, he has no programs, like he need to do ad hoc works, which is obligated and provided by engineer him to perform. ඒක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් අතන අපිට ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් නැතුව ඇනලිසිස් එකක් කරන්න බෑ. දැන් ඕක ඇත්තටම යන cost claim පැත්තට. දැන් මේ prolongation cost claim extension of time claim කියන එකට ඕක attach කරගන්න අමාරුයි. මොකද අපිට engineer ගවන් කරන්න ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් නැහැ නේද? දැන් ඔය කතාව යන්නේ ඇත්තටම ඕක cost claim පැත්තට තමයි යන්නේ. මේ claim පැත්තට නෙවෙයි.
Yes, so it's altogether completely two different contracts. So that the contract between the contractor and the client is different, and the consultant and the client is different. So contractually, it has to be managed within the case raised by either parties.
Yeah.
Okay, and
make the condition of contract between engineer, because it is not what we are talking here in this context. You know.
Yes. So the client can simply show off that contractors has made a claim so that he can use the other contract to not to penalize, but at least to claim something back.
That's why there's this professional indemnity insurances came to the place. You remember? This is there's a because once you are having this design consultant, sometimes engineers also there is something called the indemnity insurance. You need to furnish and give to the employee, because if something happened in terms of the negligence in the professionalism, so there's a way and remedy for the employer to claim back. That's the basic understanding about the indemnity professional insurance.
I personally thought that it's the PI is professional indemnity is all about the design failures and the other failures of any repercussions to be claimed through. Even the financial losses can be maybe the amount of could be claimed. And Chatru, that the graph you have mentioned something which is quite like a normal distribution. And there were certain terms that there's a question from Kasun. The T pro, like you have mentioned about the time for the prolongation, and the T EOT, the time at the extension of time at the far edge of the curve. So if the case is true, then the contractor can claim both T pro and T EOT. He talked about, I think the time is TOT, but the cost incurred at the T pro and the T EOT. But my question again, that was Kasun's question. And my question, to be fair enough, I feel that the T pro, the actual prolongation time, the cost for the time, that amount has to be reduced from the TEOT, then the net amount is a claimable amount. Is that the case? Or both can be claimed, or the net value has to be claimed? So what's your idea? Your argument was that T pro is the place where we have to make the claim.
Yeah.
We can start from there.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, both we cannot claim. The answer to first question, the both cannot be claimed, because the prolongation cost is all about.
Can we go to the graph, if you wouldn't mind? Can we go to the graph?
I can draw like nicely. The make a prolongation cost කියන්නේ අපි ඕක සට්ට ගෑන් දෙනවා මේක තමයි අපේ කර්ව් එක තියෙන්නේ. හරි. එතකොට දැන් ඇත්තටම EOT එක දෙන්නේ මෙතන ඉඳන් මෙහෙටනේ. හරිද? EOT එක දුන්නට මේ EOT එක දෙන්නේ හොඳට ඇත්තටම ඇඳලා පෙන්නනවා වෙන පාටවල දැන්. මෙන්න මේ හරිය වෙත කෝසේෂන් එකකින් දෙන්නේ. එනි මේ හරිය වෙන්නේ කෝසේෂන් එක උනේ මතකද? දැන් කෝසේෂන් එක උනේ මෙතන prolongation කියන එක ෆන්ඩමෙන්ටල් එකම තමයි ඇත්තටම simply ඔක්කොම අමතක කරලා හිටියොත්. If you forget everything, prolongation is all about දැන් අපිට drawing දෙන්න තිබ්බ engineer. මේ මං කතාවක් විදිහට කිව්වොත් හරි ලේසි එක. දැන් ඔන්න අපිට අද දෙන්න තිබ්බ හම්බුන්නේ නැහැ. අද උදේනවා අපේ කට්ටියත් එක්ක අර කාස් කරන්න. ඒ drawing එක ඕනේ එක කරා. නිකන් typically කිව්වොත්. එතකොට ආවට පස්සේ කට්ටිය drawing එක නෑ කරන්නේ. එතකොට ඒ කට්ටිය ඒගොල්ලා අපිට idle වෙනවා. Maybe that people going to be idle, including the machineries and people. Now the people go home because of no drawing. Next day also they will come and stay there and sit in there. Right? This is the fundamental, the argument is, it's like why prolongation cost come to the place that the idling of the people, because sometimes we cannot bring these people, because some people logic that, okay, why you cannot bring this team to another work front? Yeah, partially it can be, sometimes it cannot be because of the congestion, in the site. Then make a fundamental like a thing, minimum idling with a කට්ටිය අපේ cost එකක් we need to give the cost for that people who are idling. This is the basic concept of the prolongation cost. Okay, so that's why let's say we are having here X number of days extended. But thing is, just think, even though this is extended in a, let's say 5 days, okay. Now let's say I'm going to take 5 days extension and 5 days prolongation, the same, example for the easy reference. Let's say this 5 days from here to here, because the people who were at site at that time is going to be idle, not the people who are here. Who are here is not going to be idle, because this is a මේක ඇඳලා තින්නේ නිකන් මේක නිකන් ඇඳපු රූපයක් විතරයි. අපි මෙහෙ නෙවෙයි තාම ඉන්නේ. අපේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක තියෙන්නේ මෙතන තාම. මේ හරිය අපි ඉන්නේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක ඉවර වෙලා නැහැ තාම. උදාහරණයක් විදියට. දැන් මේ පහ ඇත්තට මෙතන තමයි ඔකර් වෙන්නේ. ඔකරන්ස් එක වෙන්නේ. The time මේක actuals නේ අපි ගන්න. Actual එක වෙනකොට how many people are here, it is going to be area of this particular triangle. Sorry, square or whatever. මෙන්න මේ කැලේ area එක තමයි ඔය එන්නේ prolongation cost එක කියලා. ඒතකොට මෙතන ඇත්තටම කිසිම දෙයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මෙතන impact එක හොයාගන්න model එකක් විතරයි මෙතන වෙන්නේ. අපි ඇත්තටම real causation එක තියෙන්නේ මෙතන, really happen වෙන්නේ මෙතන. ඒතකොට මේ දෙකේ අර මේ කිසිම දැන් time කියන එක ඇත්තටම මෙහෙම දැන් උතර ප්‍රශ්නේම තියෙන්නේ time කියන එක මේ axis එකකට ගලපු එක තමයි. මම ඔය නිතරම හිතනවා time කියන එක axis එකකට අරන් මේ බාර් හැදුවට මේක හරි අමාරු justify කරන්න. මේ කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ? කාටිසියන් තලයේ තියෙන්නේ අපිට නිකන් අපි හරි imaginary ලෝකයක. දැන් time කියන එක ඇත්තටම axis එකකට ගත්ත එකම ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් නේ. නමුත් මේක explanation purpose වලට අරන් තියෙන ලෝකේ. ඒකට ඒක ගන්න නැතුව explain කරන්න බෑනේ. මොකද අපි වෙන ඇන්ගල් එකකට හිතන්න බැරි හින්දා. ඒතකොට මේකේ අර ඒ පොයින්ට් එකකින් හින්දා තමයි ওই විදිහ අර පොඩක් අර confusion complications එන්නේ. අපි හිතුවොත් මේක ඇත්තටම මෙතන තමයි happen වෙන්නේ. නමුත් ඇත්තටම මිනිස්සු idle වෙන්නේ මෙතන. ඒකින්ද මේක තමයි නලින් අපිට ගන්න ඕන. මම හිතන්නේ මම best මම try කරා explain කරන්න.
Yes. Thank you very much, Chatru. And Chatru, you have any, because being the last day of the fall CPD sessions, and we won't be able to get you back for next 2 sessions. We have 2 more gentlemen. Do you have any final remarks or set of thanking note plus something for the participants as your final remarks?
Yeah, quickly, I will tell you, because first of all, I would like to thank you for, especially you and CECB also, for arranging such kind of experience sharing, I would say, sessions for the people who actually need that skill sets. So it is a timely required program, as well as I would say that I'm ready to help the people who really need and have willingness to learn these things. And I would like to really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And other thing, keep remember the final thing, hard work and pre-preparation is key to success.
Yes, I'm sure that the kind of a benchmark character you are to explain and to make the self-explanatory to everybody that hard work and the commitment is the essence. And Chatru, there were a few requests from the audience to share your contact number as well. Therefore, I've shared your number and I've requested them to contact you through only WhatsApp messaging. And please, if you have any person to contact, I think what we recommend is to contact all resource personnel through WhatsApp contacts. And DC Hettiarachi, we have a hand raise.
Yeah, I'm sorry for asking this question at the last moment. Shall I ask it like this? Let's say there is an delay due to same example as Chatru taken, a delay in submission of the drawings by the engineer. In that case, if there is another activity that can be suggested to do by the contractor, let's say there is no correlation between this activity related to the delay in the drawings, and if we have another second activity, can the engineer instruct or maybe propose to the contractor to carry out the next second item? In that case, the contractor, what is the obligation of the contractor? Can he say no for such event?
You mean that it's like everybody knows now there is a delay in drawing, let's say example.
Yeah.
Now the engineer is instructing you to do the another additional work.
Another activity in same contract, but there is no correlated activity until to catch up this delay. Can the engineer instruct or propose it? And if so, can contractor say no for that kind of activity?
Yeah, this is called actually, this is like what I feel from your query is like, yes, engineer can ask to accelerate the programs. It's called acceleration actually. If engineer asks to accelerate some sort of activities or set of activities, yes, contractor has entitlement for claim the acceleration claim. Again, they can ask to accelerate, but I didn't get your point in terms of the adding activity. Activity means adding this, because contractor cannot add the activity. Contractor can add the instruct to do the different scope of work. Correct? Adding activity, not activity. Scope of works can be instructed him to do. But in terms of the adding activity, I think there is I just a little bit confused. But in terms of accelerating the program, if engineer has instructed, actually contractor has entitlement for the acceleration claim to us.
All right. Okay. Thank you, and especially thank you very much, Satura. As I mentioned earlier as well, I know you're a very busy person, and you are working most of these foreign projects, and we have. I'm sure we have consumed a lot of dollar hours of yourself. Therefore, I highly apologize and thank you very much for your commitment. And we, again, while thanking you, we highly appreciate that your commitment, at the same time, your selfless, acceptance of reaching to us, at the same time to groom our own professionals. So thank you very much. On behalf of CECB, I would like to thank you as well as the whole audience. And especially, I would like to mention a few names as always. Chandana, especially Engineer Chandana and Sarasi from the training division. And Chandana is the head of trainings. And Mr. Alvis from CESL, Shani from CESL, and Dilu. And special thanks to Engineer Sanjay, who's always supporting behind the screen and supporting to almost all the aspects, not only the Zoom sessions, even the YouTube management and the rest of the chat management as well, and especially the Zoom master of Kapila. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now done with 6 sessions, and we have 2 more sessions to complete the whole CPD program. And I'm sure that we are getting something and some very important things from on daily basis. At the same time, I cannot simply say that we are taking everything or we are learning everything from this very small session. So what our objective is to guide, at the same time show and open your eyes to the horizon where we can go. At the same time, there are lots of explorations, being professionals, that we can do, especially the future markets is not the simple electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, or civil engineering jobs, because there are different job opportunities. And if you simply go through this Chatura's profile, it's mentioned that forensic delay analyst. So it's a completely new profession, which I've seen from himself. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please keep yourself ready and be ready always to absorb and be available yourself, that simply stopping your education from your degree level or the diploma level, that don't think that we are done. So the challenges are huge, especially when it comes to this current situation, even the current context, economic challenges. Therefore, we cannot simply be as simple as we were some times ago. Therefore, the environment is so competitive. So you have to gather a lot of knowledge and gather a lot of experience. With that remark, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to conclude the session and wishing you a good night. And we would like to see you by next Sunday evening, same time, 7:30. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.